Thank you, thank you. All right, then I can tweet it, and I'll show you guys maybe. We'll see. All right, welcome everybody. I'm gonna go through some slides. You're here for build your brand, become a social superstar, I guess, right? I'm just here to give you guys some tips and tricks how I use social media, how you can benefit from it. Um, maybe some of you are a bit, uh, hesitant to use social media, but there's so much power behind it in terms of, all of you are techies, technical people, and so much resources out there. It builds your community. You know where to go find things. You know where to go get help, and also keep up with latest information. So my name is Harjit Dhaliwal. I'm a product marketing manager for Windows Commercial at Microsoft. I was a customer engineer before that, and then prior to that, I spent almost 20 years working at a university as a senior sysadmin, doing all sorts of things that you guys do. But I've also been doing a lot of social media type things for many years. So some of you have already seen me around, familiar with my name, familiar with my icons and things like that. I worked, slowly and effectively to build my brand, and I'll talk about it a little bit in a little bit here. So, anyways, I've got some of my Twitter and Discord. I'm dabbing into Discord also lately, and I don't really blog much, so it's there. And another great site for you guys. Here's a tip for you guys. There's a site called About.me. Okay, so you know how you have all your social media. You got Twitter, this, that, Pinterest, whatever. It's hard to like share with people, but if you just go to the site and you can create a free account, and you can add all sorts of your social media profile. And then when you're doing that, it's just like, hey, this is me. Go find me here. This is what who I am and stuff like that. Okay? I'm going to go through a few things. I'm going to talk about Twitter, Discord, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Slack, maybe a few other things, some off-track, information for you as well. Maybe hashtags and things like that. So how I came about, actually, before we go any further, food for thought. Think about this. Is that correct? It is correct, right? Facebook is information you're not interested from people you know. Because generally, you connect with people, your friends, your family, your relatives, your teachers, whatever. But you really don't care about the stuff that they put out there. I ate a burger today. Who cares? Broke up with my boyfriend. Who cares, right? That kind of stuff. And then Twitter is really like powerful information from people you generally don't know. You know some people, but it's coming from all these sources. You're like, holy cow. That's why you start following them, right? Here's another quick fun thing. The different types of social media platforms. Facebook, hey, like me. Twitter, listen to me, right? And so on and so forth. Just to give you an idea of what these different platforms do, right? You post the same thing has a different meaning on the different platforms. LinkedIn is to build your professional, image and profile and stuff like that. So you got to be careful on what you're using and when and how. Okay? Another fun one. Pretty cool, right? Same thing, but in a different context everywhere. LinkedIn, I love that one. I'm good at peeing. All right. All right. Let's. Yeah, I'll give you a recommendation. All right. So, How many of you are actually using social media? Twitter, Facebook? Not that many. LinkedIn? Okay, anything else? Mastodon? What's that? Twitch. Okay, yep. That's good too. All right, so personal branding is important, right? So it states here, the process of personal branding involves finding your uniqueness that stands out, building a reputation on things you want to be known for, and then allowing yourselves to be known for them. So I share a lot of content, a lot of information. That's how I built my brand, right? The way I kind of got started into this, I attended TechEd 1 year, many years ago, before it became Ignite. When I attended TechEd, I was going to sessions and I was seeing people sitting with laptops, running out of battery, and then they didn't have tables like this and stuff like that, right? Trying to take notes and with your phones or whatever. And I started using Twitter to take notes, right? And you're like, what? So every session has a session code, right? Like let's say a breakout session, BRK1234, right? Or something like that. This one could be SOC, 1234 kind of a thing. So I would sit in the sessions and I would use my phone and I would start capturing the screens with Office Lens, right? Have you guys used Office Lens? Fantastic tool. It's free, iOS, Android, go use it. It's amazing. You could be, let's say the screen here like this. I could be standing here in an angle and I take it with Office Lens. It'll actually flip that entire image straight like I'm actually standing over there. And you can take it from the back of the room. You can send it to OneNote. You can send it to all over the place. You can save it. Try it. So I was using that stuff. I was tweeting, and all of a sudden, people start picking up on it. So they started tweeting and also capturing information from the speakers, like blah, 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 Windows is this or whatever. And then I would come back. My intention was when you come back and you search for that particular hashtag, you get everything that was tweeted, right? It's notes. It's not only notes from you, but it's notes from other people who are sharing pictures and stuff. That's how I became kind of known for that. And then I started doing it everywhere. The reason why I'm wearing my hat, this is my personal branding. That's the only reason I'm wearing it here, okay? That's what I do. I've got a YouTube shows. I started just another one with Microsoft, which is supposed to be launching today for the first episode. And my branding is the hat, okay? Here, on Twitter and stuff like that, and a lot of my social media accounts, that's generally what I use. People have complained, oh, we don't see your real face and stuff. Yeah, I could change it, but I said then it loses that branding that I've built over the years. Now, whenever someone looks at that picture, we know it's him. And you saw, right? James also posted that today in the opening. That's what he used. That second image is what I use inside Microsoft. So that's my profile picture. I don't use my likeness, but it's pretty close. But that works with Teams and all sorts of other things, right? It just follows you everywhere. Microsoft 365, all that stuff. And then again, you guys noticed? Personal branding. I wear these kind of t-shirts sometimes at conferences. When I go to MMS, when I come here, when I go certain places. It's just recognizable, right? That's what it is all about. And anyways, and that's a long time ago. So I will show you some resources on how to build your your images and stuff like that, where you can go and tap in and get like true likeness or avatars and whatnot. Okay? Personal branding is important. Do whatever. Pick something, whether it's a cup, whether it's something, right? When you are, for example, when you're doing Twitter, try not to create your accounts that is tied to a product, a service, or something like that, because that will change. Because today this product exists, tomorrow it may not. Today you may be in that role, right? You may be an exchange admin. Tomorrow you get picked up by another organization, and now you're working with, I don't know, Yeah, something else. Now you just ruined your image. It's hard to change that. You can change it, but now you're going to lose your following. You're going to lose that impact that you had. So come up with something. It doesn't have to be like your exact name and things like that. I'll show you guys my profile on Twitter, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? So what do you get with Twitter? Daily information provided by experts, breaking news from the community, fantastic, of course, and from other media outlets, right? You got the Mary Jo Foleys and all that stuff. They break information out there very quickly. So if you're on the cutting edge, if you're following this stuff, you're going to know. You get to know about blogs and stuff like that that are posted by your colleagues, your peers in the community, right? Many of them who are here speaking and attending are pretty known people in the industry, right? And they're here and they're blogging. So if you're like, hey, I like the content that they're posting, follow that. And I'll show you how to do that, okay? You can build relationships in the industry. Jeff and I have known each other for a while. We've gone to places like Tech Bento and other places. We were just last week, last week, we were here in a Microsoft head office for my MVP Summit. And it's just like, it's amazing, right? You follow key people. You can follow the Snovas. You can follow the, whoever. You can follow, I focus on Microsoft technologies a lot. So things like Windows, things like, Office 365 and all those kind of Windows 365 and all that stuff. So as I'm sharing, caring, promoting and stuff like that, they see that the frequency and it also amplifies them. So then they come back and they're like, you know what? This is a good account to follow. Then that's how you build your branding and your status. And then you get interesting opportunities. As you're doing this stuff with social media, it could be anything. I'm just focusing here on Twitter, but it could be anything. It could be LinkedIn. Some people don't like Twitter, but they do LinkedIn. Fantastic. Some people don't like Facebook and they do something else. But you're building your name. It's a name recognition. Opportunities will come by. Sometimes someone will say, oh, you know what? Hey, yeah, I know I met you before, or I've seen you, do something or post something online, and we got an opening in my company. You're looking for it. Here we go. A lot of the layoffs that have been happening lately, I've seen people like within a very short time get picked up by somebody else pretty quickly. Am I going too fast for you guys? No, right? It's good? Okay. This was a slide I had done with another speaker at another conference, so I just like dumped it here. Yeah, I get a lot of like information out of Twitter. It's fantastic, right? And I know how to use it. I do it so much that I recognize avatars. I recognize icons. So I don't even have to like look. I'm like, oh, I know this person posted this. What is it? Oh, okay, good. Move on, kind of a thing. Some people get like overwhelmed with the flood of information that's coming through. And I'll show you how to do all this stuff in just a little bit. I don't know why I put Swift on security, but yeah, Swift on security follows me, and so does several other accounts. This guy, that guy. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it here. Analytics. All right, so we start with Twitter analytics. Do you think, hey, is anybody noticing, your stuff? Is it making an impact? How do you find it, right? And should you care? Maybe. I don't pay any more attention to this stuff, but in the early stages, I would check to see which tweets were actually, resonating with people. Sometimes some were amiss, some were not, right? So what resonates with people? Then you can amplify that again, and you're like, you know what? Every time I post this kind of content, that's what hits people. Maybe I should focus on that. Okay? Sometimes people just don't care about certain things. So you have to watch your analytics. There's some analytics built into Twitter. I'll show you how to get there as well. But there are a lot of like third-party tools out there. that can generate like really nice analytics for you, like dashboards and stuff like that. All right, just an example of my Twitter profile. We'll go over there soon. This is where I wanted to show you. So when um, you see here, so when you go to your main Twitter profile, right, page, right, you click on profile here to get to the analytics. And this is what I'm trying to show you. When you go to analytics, you click on profile, you click on more. Before, it used to be on the other side. So as they keep redeveloping, and the guy that owns the electric cars and the space stuff, he's funky. He's doing some crazy things, and it'll change from week to week. But anyways, profile, click on more, and you're gonna get under Creative Studio. You pull that down, you're gonna get analytics, and then you can see all sorts of things. There's another site, it still exists. I checked it today. It's called Tweetbinder. Oh, sure, go ahead.
Well, I just had a question if you go back to your profile.
Sure.
This is something I've always tested or played with in the past. Your profile, not your avatar picture, but your profile picture, that header with the landscape, is that potential space of any use? What graph you put in there?
With a picture?
Yeah, with pictures.
Yeah, it is good. It's a good use. So some people will create like a banner, like with words in it, right? I don't know. Could be something that stands out for you. I just create a simple. That's a picture that I took. Um, it could be anything. PowerShell expert, or you could have your blog in there, or your podcast or things like that. So something that stands out when people come here, boom, they see that. That's a good call. Yeah. Okay. So Tweetbinder, it's actually a paid service, but they do offer you a free trial, like a test to check like certain hashtags and things like that, or handles like the ad mentions and stuff like that, to see how well that particular space is doing. So when you do it, it'll give you a report. I checked it out. So it's tweetbinder.com. If you just want to get started with analytics, just test it. It's fine. You don't have to go and do the paid thing. Don't worry about it. Okay? All right. So if you haven't done social media, you haven't played with it, just get started, like literally. Don't have a Twitter account? Create one. And you're like, okay, but I don't know who to follow. Okay, that's fine. Start with somebody you know, some account that you know. It could be, Rusinovich. It could be me. It could be Jeff. It could be somebody. When you go into, let's say we'll pick Jeff here. You go to his account and you look at who he's following. That's important, right? Because the people that he's following matters to him. You follow and you're like, oh, he's following this one. And then you click on it and you're like, oh, that's why. Okay, let me follow. Oh, this one, follow. As you start building that follower count for yourself, right? And then you can see who else is following, him or me or somebody else. You can follow, for example, PowerShell Summit, right? The account here, follow it, because there's tons of stuff coming out. There's lots of information. The main PS.org account as well. That's the big mothership, right, for this conference. So on. Start there. Start seeing. So the other thing you want to do with your, I'll give you a little tip about your presence on, especially Twitter, is that the ratio of followers and following, some people have more following than who they're following. You know what I'm saying? More followers than, or the other way around. They're following way too many people, but they only got, maybe they're following like 10,000 people, but they only got 200 that are following back. That says something. You got to go and investigate, like, why is that? Like, what's going on? Maybe it's their content that's not good, right? They don't mean anything. Another reason why people will follow a lot of people, because they want people to follow back. They think they're going to get that back, but it's not true. So, yeah, in giving back. So as you're consuming information from all these social media platforms, you also give back. Maybe you are writing your own blogs. Maybe you found an article. Maybe it's a Microsoft article, a Microsoft Doc, or Microsoft Learn, or one of the IT Pro blogs that they put out or something, right? This is really good. Like Windows Labs came out just recently. Hey, share that back. That's okay. It doesn't have to be your content. It's content that your community cares about, right? And then you can influence others. Okay? All right. So TweetDeck, I'm going to show this to you in person. So when you want to do Twitter, if you go to twitter.com, you'll see it's kind of like, it's hard to find things, right? The best way to use Twitter is with TweetDeck. TweetDeck.com or tweetdeck.twitter.com. Twitter bought this platform several years ago. It used to be a desktop app. Now it's a web app. It's fantastic. This is how you use it. So you can have, you're working from home or in the office, whatever. You can have one screen, right? You have TweetDeck on, and it's all based on columns. I'll show you that in a second, how I do it. You can have columns that you're following, for example, handles, the at handles. You can have columns you're following for the hashtags. You can follow specific people, all sorts of things. So sometimes what will happen is you'll have webinars that'll come up, right? Live webinars and things like that. Jeff does his PS chat, right? On specific Fridays, right? There's this hashtag he's using. And so what you do is you go and create a column with that hashtag. You're going to see all the chatter coming through. It's fantastic. And then Facebook, okay? I know Facebook, whatever. So my personal Facebook page, it's nonsense. I like to post a lot of pictures when I'm traveling, things like that. I like to banter with people, poke people, because you know what? Hey, if you're on Facebook, it's public. I don't care what you say, whether you're like, it's on the internet, right? It's like standing on the outside the grocery store with a signboard. Why can't you put that, what you're saying on Facebook, on the signboard and stand out there? Why are you getting offended? Well, if you're putting it out there on Facebook, you're looking for a reaction, you're looking for a discussion, and I'll give it to you. Thank you very much. So the way I do all my IT stuff, my technical stuff, my work things is based on groups, private groups. Why private groups? There are three types of groups. Public, that means you don't have to be a member of that group. You can see all the chatter and see who's in it and all that stuff. That filters over onto your wall. Private groups, you have to join. You have to be allowed to join the group. Everything is contained within there. And whatever is posted there, you try to share. There is no share button. You can't share it out. People complain about that all the time. That's a reason, right? Hey, you need to be a member of this group before you can do it. Then they have the hidden group, like the secret group, where it's not listed, it's not anywhere, you can't find it, someone has to invite you. That is where you have all the political stuff and all that stuff happening. People chatter that behind the scenes. Any questions? No?
Let me say something about the Facebook PowerShell group real quickly.
Yeah.
I'm an admin in the group. Because it used to be an open public group.
Yeah.
But because of all of the thoughts and spam that we were getting, we ended up having to move it to a private group where you have to apply and answer a few questions, and then the president approved that you're a real person. It sucks that we had to do that, but we had no choice just because there's been so much time cleaning up and dealing with all the garbage that you get.
Yeah.
It's still a very useful group. It just, the nature's changed a bit because it's now private and you kind of have to make an effort to be
Yes.
there and to be involved.
But
You're all welcome to join.
I'm a member. Yeah, I'm an admin of several groups on Facebook, and people invite me and say, "Hey, can you help manage, whatever?" And one of the first things I do, I switch if the group's public, I switch it to private, and then you start seeing the discussion starts going up, the membership level starts going up. Before that, there's not much interaction because people are afraid. Because if I post something there or I interact there, it shows up on my wall, or my boss can see it or something like that. Our colleagues get jealous and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm gonna flip real through LinkedIn. You got a profile, Slack, WhatsApp. I use all of these tools every single day. I've got there's communities in Slack for various things. We use Slack here for this conference. I use Slack with Jeff and James and all that. We got a separate one for planning and all this stuff for this conference. I have one for with specific friends. We got 10 or 15 friends that we just use it for communication daily and asking for support. And then you got WhatsApp too, right? WhatsApp is also pretty good. Some people like it, some people don't. But you can also create groups there, and then you can generate your community and do whatever content you want to do. Okay? And then you have Discord. I just threw this out here because recently I was tasked with creating a new community, a space, because of Twitter apparently was going to go away. So there was a little nervousness. Hey, what are we going to do? We got 3,000-4,000 people on Twitter, and we need to come up with another space in case Twitter just dies, and it didn't die. And so build a community. There are so many other communities out there. There's WinAdmins is one, which is pretty popular. There's one for enterprise mobility. There's some for PowerShell. There's a lot there. You guys, the only thing about Discord is that it's noisy. You got to learn how to filter things out. You got to learn how to mute stuff and just come in and check once in a while. People on Discord love to chat. That's why I like Twitter. It's short, sweet, nice. They don't want to post too many things. So Discord. This is the analytics I was telling you about in Twitter. You get things like that. You get bars and stuff. It tells you how good your impressions, your engagements, what was your top tweets. I'll show that to you right now. And take this down. I'm going to show you this as well. The way I correlate all my information. Where am I getting my information from? I use an RSS feed called feedly.com, feedly.com. It's fantastic. They have a free, I think there's a free version, but you can only have maybe 10 feeds. Pay the little bit, I think it's $10 or $15 or whatever it is a year. Just use it and you'll see my feed. It's madness. But that's how I do it. The other thing is you want to do some automation. You guys are here PowerShell freaks, right? PowerShell junkies. PowerShell is about automation and stuff. Well, you can use something like buffer.com. There are other tools out there as well, but I use Buffer. And then I use if this, then that. Okay? So let me tell you. So most of my tweets are hand managed, right? I see something, I'll post maybe from here, whatever. But the other things that come from Feedly, I will actually mark them what I want posted. So there's a recipe on if this, then that will check and see my Feedly. It checks my Feedly. If I mark any articles for read later, it'll say, hey, this one's marked for read later. I've got 10 of these. It takes those things and sends it over to Buffer. In Buffer, I've got a queue. I've got post at 9:15, 10:20, whatever. What you can do whatever you want in Buffer, okay? And you can do Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, whatever. Don't post on these days, and it just puts it in a queue. So then you just walk away, and next thing you know, your tweets are going out like that. That's how I do my stuff. And then obviously I want to thank you for being here. But I'm now going to flip over to show you. Okay. All right. So Twitter, real quick. I showed you. This is how generally you go to twitter.com, right? You go to your home and you see, okay, you see I've got 154 tweets here. Oh my God. So you click on that, it just refreshes. Then you got to scroll down like that. Oh, this is tedious. Oh my God, I can't keep up with this. I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter, right? That's what you get from people. Well, don't use it that way. You see, like someone here posted, tagged with PSH Summit. And you can search for that hashtag here. Hashtag PSH Summit, and you'll get everything that's coming through. You can see, oh, there, Jeff posted a tweet here. Awesome. So anyways, you get notifications and things like that. So what I want to show you here is that when you come to your profile, it's important some people don't have anything written there, right? Right? What do you do? I'm a PowerShell expert, blah, 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 because when you follow people, they will get notified and they will come and check. And they'll check your profile. You're like, oh, that's nothing there. I don't know what this person does, So you can put that there. And then you can, obviously you come here, you can see all the tweets you posted. This one, I pinned it here. That's why it always stays here. It says pinned tweet. You can see all the replies you've done, like if you communicated with people and things like that, like retweets and whatnot, right? Our friend here posted this picture. And so on and so forth. This media is all about all the photos and videos that are being posted, and then all the likes that when you like different things, it'll show you all of that. So you can come and check it. There's also things that you can create a list. So let's say you say, PowerShell conference experts, and then you can create a list and you can just add people, Jeff, James, whoever you want. And then that way you're always just checking that list and seeing what those people are posting. So you can condense your tweets to just list. Okay, analytics. So when you come to your profile, you see there's more here. You click on more, right? And then there's other things here. Obviously, I'm an idiot. It's okay. I signed up for the Twitter Blue, and there's a reason for that. It's not because I really want the blue check mark. It's because it allows me to edit my tweets. It gives me a little bit more. I can create longer tweets and things like that. I get, better exposure and all that stuff. There's some madness to it. But anyways, so you come to this, you pull down Creator Studio, and you see analytics. Voila, right? So it gives you stats for every month, right? If you pull down, you see March, you see February, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool, right? So here you'll say, top mentions, PowerShell News Podcast, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it'll tell you what your top tweets and all that stuff are here. How well you're doing. How many tweets you posted in that particular month. How many profile visits. How many new followers you got. Right? It's pretty cool. So you get to know how well you're doing, right? So on the top here, where is it? On the top here, way on the top, you can see if you click on tweets, it'll take you to this screen. It gives you more analytics, how well you're doing, which day and stuff like that. You can see your engagements on the right-hand side, the likes, people liking your post and whatnot, right? So here I can say, hey, you know what? Give me my top tweets. And then it starts telling you, oh, this one here that I did the voiceover for this particular post from Microsoft on the April patch release that talks about quick assist and stuff like that is doing pretty well, right? So that's how you look at this stuff. Okay? So that's that for analytics. Now let's do TweetDeck. Okay. Ignore you seeing some of my private things, like you're in my closet. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's recorded on video. Anyway, so TweetDeck.com. This is how you should use Twitter. It's all by columns. Okay. The first column on the left-hand side here is everyone that you're following. All that stuff is just coming through. It'll refresh actually really fast. So what I do here sometimes, I'll just like scroll down. I recognize these icons, right? Like so and so. Oh, I know. When I see that, I know already that it's this guy, and so on and so forth. You can follow it this way, right? This one here, the second column is usually always, what do you call it? Anyone that mentions your handle. Boom, you get that flagged. So it's like notifications, right? The third column is private messages. You can see I've got some weird nonsense over here in my private message. I left it there for you guys because now you're starting to see some spam, right? Some spam accounts and stuff like that, but they will disappear and all that. There's a way to clean this up. For example, this one here, they're trying to sell me, I don't know what currency, whatever. There's 3 dots here. I click on that. Flag conversation. Yes, it's spam. And then it'll disappear. And I'll clean this up later, but I just want to show you. So now can you see on the top here where I have hashtag, well, you can't see, sorry, you can't see from the back here, but anyways, hashtag Windows 11, hashtag MS Intune, hashtag config manager, and so on, and so on, and so on, right? And then I'm also have columns for handles. So if I go scroll all the way here, let me show you right about here. So I'm following, I have a column for the PowerShell.org, which is the PowerShell.org main account. So I see everything coming from there. I'm following the DevOps one. I'm following the PHP Summit, and then I've got hashtags and stuff like that. This is how you track things. Okay, it's easy to do this. All you have to do is actually, it's on the one of these here. You say add column, and then you can say, I think it's search here, and then I'll put right here. See here, it's added that column. Now everything that's being posted with that hashtag, not a lot of them from me, but it's from everybody else. It's here. And you know what? If you say, oh, it's all the way back here, well, you can move this. You can, with the arrows, or you can drag and move this column to the earlier space. Okay, so that's that. So TweetDeck. TweetBinder, I was telling you about earlier. So let's say the free version. Sure, let's accept it. PSH Summit. Create a free report. It's going to generate that. And then obviously it's going to entice you to like please pay, whatever, right? So 123 tweets analyzed, blah, blah, blah. Gives you a date range. Just kind of gives you a big picture on what's going on with that hashtag for tweets. You see that? See how it jumped up? Pretty cool. Okay, that's a quick one. The other one I want to show you, where was I going to go? Hold on. Oh, LinkedIn. Okay, so the other thing that I have done, the way I built my community is I have a group called Tech Connect with a K, T-E-C-H, and then K-O-N-N-E-C-T. I started that in Facebook because I had there's PowerShell groups here, there's Intune groups here, there's this here, there's that there, whatever. I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm just going to put everything together. I'm going to build my community. And I started on Facebook, and then now I started on LinkedIn as well. You guys are free to come and join. So I'll show you. So for example, if I go to, I think it's under business groups, leverage these groups. If you're using LinkedIn, just don't use LinkedIn because you want to find a new job, it's your resume. That's how LinkedIn started. It's gone beyond that. People are posting articles. People are sharing things from the web, right? Also, you're getting, FaceTime with people. And if you want to engage with like some top level people and they're going to see what you're doing, they're like, oh, this is valuable. I'm going to pull this guy. Yeah, I'm going to follow. I'm going to connect with this person. Okay? Then groups. These groups work just like the closed groups in Facebook. Okay? All right. So I've got a group. There's tons of groups. You can see how many members they have, right? So on and so forth. Women in IT pros, MS system administrator. There's PowerShell ones and so on. I won't go through that. But let's say I'll just show you my Tech Connect one. Please join. Okay? So I can invite people. Here's some things I'm posting. Sometimes like other people will post here, the articles that they find and stuff like that, right? Rudy Ooms and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. This is how you use LinkedIn. Another thing I want to show you, when you go to my profile, you will see that normally for your profiles, it'll say connect somewhere here, right? It's a default. All right. So if you're getting blasted by so many connects, like people you're like, who are these people? Like, they're salespeople or whatever. Well, you can change that from connect to follow as your default. So people can follow you. It's like they're following your Twitter, whatever you post. And you go through your profile. It's under privacy, and then it's very deep down there in somewhere. I'll try to come back if I have time, but I want to move on to other things. Facebook. Come on, load it. Okay, so Facebook, there are tons of groups. You can see I'm involved with so many groups. MVP, Microsoft MVP, SCCM, some networking groups for IT pros, PowerShell, you name it, it's here. Right? You can create your own groups and start that. You can create your own groups for your own self. So you and a friend can just join so that you can just, all these articles and things like that you're finding, just put it in there for yourself. That's fine. Okay, I want to jump to Feedly. Let me show you Feedly, feedly.com. This is my madness. So I've got these categories on the left-hand side. Technology, photography, config manager, blah, 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 all sorts of things here, okay? Then I will find RSS feeds or blogs or things like that, and I'll just add them to these different categories. So you can see, it'll say, you can't see it from there, but it'll say like, there's 11 from Unintech that I haven't read, 171 for G-Hacks, and so on and so forth. This is how I find things, right? If I keep going down, I've got a category called PowerShell. If I click on PowerShell, these are some of the feeds that I'm following, right? They'll come through here. Oh, wait, I didn't know Power CLI 13.1 is now released. Oh, that's pretty cool. So then I can tweet that if I want to, right? Getting started with Kubernetes or whatever. Patching, you name it, right? I follow some of the Microsoft sites and stuff. So let's just assume, I'm going to show you. So the other thing I was going to show you is Buffer. This is where all my stuff, my automation stuff comes in. And I manage different accounts as well. If you look here, under my Twitter, I've got nothing going out today, right? Nothing right now. These are all just random times that I posted here. I'll go to my Feedly, and I'll find something. Something good so I don't get in trouble. Hold on, let me try Windows maybe. Skilling Snacks, okay? So I can read it. Okay, yeah, I know what that is. Okay, that's good article, okay. I can also directly from Feedly, I can send it to email. I can share it on Facebook, LinkedIn, blah, 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 all manually here. Or I can just mark that for read later, that little checkbox. And in a short while, it'll show up here in Buffer. And then it'll go into that queue, whatever that time is, the next one available. If it hits it, it'll tweet it out. It'll show up here, and eventually you'll see one of, it'll show up here. Anyway, so that's how I use this stuff. There you go. See this? It just popped up. What's that? Yes. If this, then that. I've got a recipe that does this, boom, does this. So now it'll go out. So anyway, so that's that. Slack. You guys have been using Slack here, right? Pretty cool. You got your spaces and all that stuff. Again, there's a lot of chatter here that's going on, which is really good. Use it. You can create it yourself for your friends, just 2 people, 5 people, 20 people, it doesn't matter. What else? I was going to show you. To create your avatar and to get someone like, create caricatures or even whatever, create a logo if you want to. There's a site called Fiverr.com. This is like an outsourcing. So you come in here and you say, hey, I'm looking for someone to create a logo for my brand or whatever it is. And then people will just like, oh yeah, hey, I can do that. How much? $10, $5, $15. They'll give you a few variations. If you like it, you select it. If not, you tell them to redo it again. You can do a lot of things with Fiverr. Okay. Canva is another one. Canva.com. Amazing stuff. I use this all the time to create my images for social media. I manage the social media accounts for PowerShell for this conference. So I create a lot of the banners and whatever that goes out. Canva.com is amazing. And what else? What else? You guys have any questions? Anybody? Okay. So there's this site called about.me. Before you guys go, like about.me I was telling you about. So you can see, I just put like, hey, there's a little bit of brief description of who I am. Here's all my, the majority of my social media stuff. You want to connect with me here, click here. You want to connect with me here, click here, and so on and so forth. That's about.me. And then obviously, PowerShellNews.podbean.com is a podcast I do with Mick Pletcher, and we're interviewing a bunch of people here. So check it out, PowerShellNews.podbean.com. And we're out of time. Oh, before I go, hold on. Discord. I want to show you Discord real quick. If you haven't used Discord, it's overwhelming. So you see, there's a lot of these servers. Discords, they call them servers, right? So there's one here called WinAdmins, which is really popular. And they break it down by, general chat. You can do voice things, voice chat. They break it down by different product categories. There's some PowerShell stuff here as well. And there's some other servers that specifically cater to PowerShell, if that's what you're into. All right? Thank you.